What up, guys? This is
Cheevo, guys!
back here again with another achievement guide. Today, we're going to be focusing on Project Starship X. This game is an easy 30 to 45 minute completion or platinum trophy. I do want to point out that it is a bit skill dependent, being that these achievements are not accumulative like the last one. You're actually going to have to get a lot of the achievements in the same playthrough. So I suppose if you're not good at shoot 'em up games, this could take up to an hour or so, or maybe even be uncompletable if you're absolutely horrible at games like this. Now, the game is published by EastAsiaSoft and it's developed by Panda Indie Studio. The game is $9.99. As you can see, all of the achievements specify that they need to be obtained in a single playthrough. We're going to need to gather up to 200 coins in one playthrough. We're going to need to kill 100 enemies in one playthrough. We're going to need to crash kill up to 20 enemies in one playthrough. We need to kill 4 bosses in one playthrough. This is actually a little easier than it sounds. And the next one is for executing the X maneuver up to 100 times. Basically, each of these have about 3 achievements related to them. Next, we have the one related to high score. We need to get up to a 200,000 point high score. And then finally, we have a secret achievement related to going into a pipe, Mario style. Anyhow, so we're going to go ahead and start up the game. I decided to go with the second character, Gwen Rossi. I ended up using her to get my full 1000 gamer score. There are also 2 more characters, however you have to play a couple times to end up unlocking those. So again, I recommend selecting Gwen Rossi. So we're going to go ahead and start this up. I'm going to be showing you guys my full playthrough. I ended up getting most of my achievements here in this first playthrough, and then I ended up needing 3 achievements at the end. One being for that secret achievement for going into a pipe. If you happen to be watching this video because you need that achievement, I would refer to the timestamps in the pinned comment or description below. Besides that, you can X maneuver by pressing X. Or if you're playing on PlayStation, I suppose that would be square. And that's basically how you dash. Now you need to actually do this 100 times to unlock all of the achievements related to the X maneuver. There are 3 total. So when you can, I recommend spamming the X button. You can do this at the start of levels or right after you finish a level. Basically like when it's counting up your score at the end, it'll allow you to get a bunch of dashes in. Or if you make it far enough to get to the area where you get to shop for an upgrade, you can simply hold off on selecting the upgrade and just keep dashing at the shop, and that'll help you grind out a lot of those X maneuvers. Next, I want to talk about crash attacks. This is a crash attack right there. It's basically where you dash into an enemy to kill them. You're going to have special opportunities to do this while you're playing through the game. Ultimately, you need 20 crash attacks or crash kills total to unlock all 3 achievements or trophies related to the crash kills. The first playthrough, I wasn't necessarily so focused on getting these crash kills, so I ended up having to get it in my second playthrough. It was one of the 3 achievements I needed after my first attempt. For me personally, I played about 2.5 playthroughs before I had my full 1000 gamer score, and it took me about 40 minutes. So again, it is going to be skill dependent, but ultimately pretty easy and quick for a 1000G or platinum trophy. Now, as you can see, I just got my first achievement related to collecting coins. We have collected 50 so far. We get an achievement after collecting 50 coins, 100 coins, and then finally 200 coins. Besides that, we have some crash kills coming up right here. I ended up unlocking my first crash kill achievement, crash kill level 1, for getting 5 crash kills in one playthrough. Now besides that, you're going to find that you're going to encounter unavoidable obstacles, and what you're going to have to do to dodge these obstacles is use your X maneuver to dash through them. For instance, that light beam was about to hit me. I can dash through the attack to be able to make it a little bit closer to him, kill him with the dash attack. And it looks like I just unlocked my next achievement related to gathering coins for gathering 100 coins total in a single playthrough. Now this is the first boss that I encountered. I want to point out that you may not encounter this same boss as your first boss, as the boss that you face is randomized. The cool thing about facing the zombie Hitler boss is he evolves into his second form, which counts as killing a second boss. So it's kind of 2 birds with 1 stone. I just got my first achievement related to executing the X maneuver for executing it 10 times. Now in terms of defeating this boss, you just want to follow what I'm doing right here. You want to stay in between that pathway of the beams shooting out while maintaining the dodge over the other attacks. Now that we defeated his first form, we're going to encounter Zombie Hitler again. What you want to do is keep shooting him, dodge through the attacks, keep shooting, dodge through the attacks. Try to stay in the middle of the beams. You're basically going to rinse and repeat this method until you defeat him. After you defeat him, you're going to get an achievement for defeating 2 bosses in a single playthrough. Again, 2 birds with 1 stone, pretty easy, being that, we would have had to play a whole additional level to encounter a second boss. So that's going to give us a quick shortcut to getting our 4 bosses in a single playthrough, which is required to get our full 1000 gamer score or platinum trophy. Now I just got my achievement related to 25,000 high score, and I just defeated Hitler's second form, or Zombie Hitler's second form, sorry. I just unlocked the Boss Killer level 2 achievement for killing 2 bosses in a single playthrough, and I barely finished the first level. Again, makes it a lot faster in terms of getting those 4 bosses in one playthrough, so hopefully you're as lucky as I was and you encounter Zombie Hitler as one of the first few bosses. Because again, these levels are randomized, so you may not encounter the same levels in the same order, nor the same bosses that I encounter in the same order. So, with this level, what we're going to be doing is just, trying to survive first and foremost, but also we're going to be, working on our dash attacks. Eventually, you want to keep an eye out for these pipes right here. These are the green pipes related to the secret achievement for going inside of a pipe. So what we need to do is shoot the spikes at the tip of the pipe, and sometimes it will create an entrance to be able to fly inside of the pipe, unlocking that secret achievement or trophy. So as you can see, it says in right there, like a little floating power-up symbol. If I would have collected that or, flown into it, I would have ended up flying into the pipe, unlocking that achievement. Now, I didn't know this my first playthrough, so I ended up getting it my second playthrough. Here's some footage of what it looks like. Once you fly inside of the tunnel, you're going to end up in a secret level, and it's going to trigger your achievement or trophy. This one is the secret found achievement worth 100 gamer score, and it says it's not a pipe. Anyhow, back to my first playthrough. I just want to show you guys real quick because I had missed that during my first playthrough, and I ended up having to scoop it during my second playthrough. So we're going to continue to make our way through stage 2. Ultimately, we pretty much just need to make it to level 3, at least if you encountered Zombie Hitler, because we need to kill 4 bosses in one playthrough. However, we got 2 bosses in one stage because we were lucky with that Zombie Hitler boss. So one would think 4 bosses, you need to complete 4 levels. However, if you get lucky and you encounter that Zombie Hitler boss, you only need to complete 3 levels or 3 stages, basically getting to the beginning of stage 4. Besides that, maybe after a stage or between stages, you may want to pull up your achievements and see where you're at and how many achievements you have left. I definitely think it was interesting that EastAsiaSoft decided to switch up the achievements. I feel like everybody's used to them having cumulative achievements, especially being that the first game, Project Starship, had cumulative achievements, meaning that you could just play, the first boss, die, play the first boss, rinse and repeat until you got 4 bosses. But this game specifically requires you in the achievements or trophies to do these in one playthrough. So, I thought that was a little bit interesting, caught me a little off guard, but still really easy to get a full 1000 gamer score or platinum trophy, at least if you're fairly good or decent at shoot 'em up games. However, even if you're not skilled at shoot 'em up games, I feel like the average video game player should still get a pretty easy and quick 1000 G. Let me know how long it took you to get the full completion or platinum trophy down in the comments below. Maybe I should adjust my estimate. Personally, it took me about 40 minutes, about 2.5 playthroughs. Now, as I mentioned before, the bosses that you encounter are randomized. This is Snippy Snappy, the crab boss. I think he's a crab. Anyway, he's pretty easy to defeat. Now, right here is what I mentioned earlier, the shop. Now, rather than choosing an upgrade to pick, what you want to do is just dash around and just get a bunch of dashes so that you can grind out your dash achievement. I didn't know this at first, and I ended up doing this in my second playthrough, so don't choose an upgrade right away and just spam the X button so that you can get your dash achievements. There are 3 total, and you need to dash a total of 100 times. After you get your achievement for executing 100x maneuvers, you can go ahead and select your upgrade. So now on to stage 3. We have defeated 3 bosses in 2 stages. First, we defeated Zombie Hitler in the first level, and then he had a second form, which was Zombie Hitler again. That gave us the achievement for defeating our second boss in a single playthrough, and then we just defeated Snippy Snappy, which gave us our achievement for defeating 3 bosses in a single playthrough. So now I'm playing the 3rd level or 3rd stage, and at the end of this stage, I would have been facing my 3rd boss, but technically he's the 4th boss because Zombie Hitler had 2 forms. Now this level had a bit of a twist. Rather than flying, you're like crawling around as a little spider robot, and what you need to do is actually jump over the obstacles rather than dash through them. So you have these spikes, and you end up jumping over these spikes rather than dashing through them. So this comes with a bit of timing. You need to make sure that you time your jumps appropriately. That way you don't land on any spikes or run into any obstacles. I just unlocked my last achievement related to collecting coins. That was for collecting 200 coins. I also just unlocked my last achievement related to getting kills, which is for getting 100 kills in a single playthrough. I also just unlocked my last achievement related to high score, which was for getting 200,000 high score in a single playthrough. I'm unlocking a bunch of achievements here in the 3rd stage. Now you see this little pink power up right here? It looks like a pink poop with some eyes on it. Do not collect that power up. It makes your weapon absolutely trash. It basically makes your shooting or weapon rotate around you, and it makes it pretty much impossible to target any enemies. So do not pick up that little pink power up. Now as you can see, I'm going to end up barely making it past that section, and we're going to use some dash attacks to get some crash kills. I just got my achievement for getting 10 crash kills. We have one more achievement related to crash kills. We have to get 20 in one playthrough. Now this boss I actually found is really easy to defeat. What you need to do is keep shooting him until he's on his knees, pretty much until his life bar is depleted. I could have did this the first time I depleted his life bar, but he ended up recharging. So once he's on his knees, you want to jump on the button behind him and he's going to drop down. You have to jump on the button to defeat him. You can't defeat him simply by shooting him. As you can see, I just unlocked my next achievement or last achievement related to killing bosses. This one for killing 4 bosses in a single playthrough. Next, we are on to stage 4. But first, let's go ahead and pop up my achievements and see what I have left. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I had 3 achievements left after my first playthrough. 1 for my crash kills, 1 for my X maneuvers, and then 1 for flying through the secret pipe. Now, I've went over all 3 of these achievements with you. Pretty much what I needed to do was spam the X button to get all of my achievements related to using the X maneuver. I ended up unlocking that in that next playthrough, and then I had the achievement related to getting my crash kills. You just need to focus on getting your crash kills. As long as you're focusing on it, you should end up unlocking that one pretty easy as well. And then finally, I had to fly through the pipe, which is the last achievement I unlocked. I decided to show you guys that one earlier in the video, so if you need any help with that, I would refer to the timestamp below if you happen to skip it. This is how you do a crash kill right here. Some examples of what it looks like. I ended up unlocking my Crash Kill 3 achievement worth 100 gamer score for getting 20 crash kills. At this point, I had unlocked all of the achievements, giving me my full 1000 gamer score. Other than that, I'd like to give a huge thank you to all of my Patreon subscribers. We just hit 20 patrons. I'd like to give a special shout out to everybody in the biggest fan club, including TimG84, AOJ, Blackbird, and Kegger101. As always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment and don't forget to like and subscribe.